Now it's time to go over the third tab. It doesn't seem like much, but in reality brings quite a lot to the table. Welcome to Creative Therapy. Left column of the screen once again allows us to see what samples we are currently working on. Therefore, let's discover what this screen has to offer. Offset settings determine when and what part of the sample is played, while triggering the sample when an offset set to the middle, represented by value of 0, when pressing the pad, full sample gets played immediately. If the offset value is set to a negative number, once pressing the pad, the sample becomes audible slightly later to the actual pad press. By checking the grid, it is clear that the note is recorded right, but it still plays with a slight delay. This is useful for placing certain sounds slightly off tempo, and I'm sure you'll find some use for it. Pushing the offset value beyond 0 plays a slightly later portion of the sample. Depending on the value set, audible becomes a shorter part of the sample, and in case of a really short one and offset value set beyond that length, sample is completely silent. Last two columns represent the velocity range, and for those, I'd like to quickly go back to the first tab to further understand their use. In here we can find the setting I have referred to previously when discussing different ways layers are triggered. Brief reminder, each layer can be triggered in cycle. This mode constantly cycles through all the layers and the samples assigned to them. Another option is random, which randomly picks a layer to be played each time pad is pressed. And finally, the last, in fact, middle option, velocity. In order to have different layers playing depending on how hard you press the pad, each layer has to be assigned to a certain velocity range. Let's use the example I prepared earlier to fully understand velocity range's functionality. Here I have two different samples assigned to different layers with different velocity values set to each of them. When lightly pressing the pad, only the first layer plays. If the pad is pressed a little bit harder and reaches a different range, the second layer is audible. This allows making really interesting sounding drums or instruments. This can also bring a lot of flexibility while performing live. But what will happen if all the samples have the same velocity range set? You guessed it, they'll all play at once. If you like my content, demolish that like button, leave something behind, and write something in the comment section below. To never miss a video, consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell. For further support, consider becoming a patron or buy me a coffee in appreciation. All links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. And for now, keep occupied.